Genoa City was quiet that morning, but inside Newman Enterprises, the air was charged with tension. The kind of tension that didn't just hum, it roared in silence, waiting for the first spark. And that spark was about to come from Victoria Newman. She walked into her father's office with her chin high, but her hands trembled in her coat pockets. The moment she saw Victor sitting behind the desk, his desk, always his desk, her heart twisted. For all her years of trying to step out from his shadow, somehow, she always found herself pulled right back in. Victor didn't look up right away. He was scribbling notes on a legal pad, the pen scratching over the paper in decisive strokes. "Victoria," he said without warmth or welcome. "You're late." She closed the door behind her. "We need to talk." Victor finally looked at her, eyes narrowing just slightly. "If this is about my decision to bring Adam back into the company, my answer hasn't changed. It's not just about Adam." She stepped closer, her voice catching despite her best efforts to keep it steady. "It's about you, and the fact that you keep making decisions that destroy everything I've worked for." His expression didn't flicker. "Everything you've worked for. You forget, young lady, I built this empire. Every brick, every deal, every enemy we've taken down, all of it, and I did it for this family." "For this family," she echoed, almost laughing. "Do you even hear yourself anymore? You've been playing us against each other for years. Me, Nick, Adam, even Abby, when it suits you. You call it business, I call it manipulation." Victor's voice dropped lower, edged with that dangerous calm that had broken boardrooms and empires alike. "You think I don't see what you've been doing? Aligning with Nick, shutting Adam out. Trying to run Newman Enterprises as if I'm already gone." "That's not what she began. "Yes," he interrupted, "that's exactly what you've been doing, and now, you're angry because I've reminded you that I am still in charge." The words landed like a slap. She'd expected pushback, but not this, not the cold dismissal. As though she were just another subordinate and not his daughter. "Maybe you are still in charge," she said quietly, "but one day you won't be. And when that happens, you'll have nothing left, because you've burned every bridge with the people who actually love you." Victor's jaw tightened, but he didn't speak. He simply stared at her, unblinking, as if willing her to back down. She didn't. Not this time. Her eyes welled up before she could stop them. "I used to think I wanted to be like you. Strong, fearless, untouchable. But now I see that being untouchable means being alone, and I don't want that." The silence stretched between them like a chasm. Victor's pen lay forgotten on the desk. His hands folded together slowly, deliberately. "You're my daughter," he said at last, his voice lower, softer. "And I love you. But love doesn't mean I let you run this company into the ground." Her throat tightened. "And I love you. But love doesn't mean I let you run me into the ground." They stared at each other, neither willing to move, both knowing something had broken here that couldn't be easily fixed. Meanwhile, across town, at Crimson Lights, Nick Newman was nursing a black coffee and a restless mind. He'd heard rumblings about Adam's return to the company, and his instincts told him it was going to blow up in everyone's faces. What he didn't expect was Billy Abbott walking in like he owned the place. Billy spotted Nick immediately and smirked. "Morning, Nick. Heard the family drama's in full swing again. Must be a Tuesday." Nick's jaw clenched. "Not in the mood, Billy, really, because it sounds like Victor just pulled the rug out from under Victoria. Again." Billy took a seat at Nick's table without asking. "You'd think she'd be used to it by now." Nick set his coffee down with a thud. "Watch it." Billy leaned back in his chair. "I'm just saying, I've been there. She wants independence, and Victor wants control. The man doesn't change." "You don't get to talk about my sister like that," Nick said, his voice sharp enough to cut glass. Billy raised an eyebrow. "Like what?" "I'm defending her." "You're using her," Nick shot back. "You always have. You swoop in when she's vulnerable, play the hero, then leave chaos in your wake." Billy's smirk faltered. "That's not fair, isn't it? You gambled away half your life, dragged her into messes that could have ruined her, and now you want to stand here and act like you're some kind of savior." Billy's eyes narrowed. "I've made mistakes. So have you. The difference is, I actually care about her." Nick stood so fast his chair scraped across the floor. "Say that again." The cafe went quiet, every customer suddenly very interested in their lattes. Billy's gaze didn't waver. "I said I care about her." Nick's fist clenched, every muscle in his body screaming to close the distance. For a second, it looked like he might, that the years of tension between them would finally erupt into a punch. But then voice cut through the moment. Nick. She was behind the counter, glaring at him. Don't. He froze, breathing hard, before finally stepping back. Billy exhaled slowly, but his smirk returned, this time with something darker behind it. You might want to save that energy for your father, Billy said, standing to leave. He's the real problem. Nick watched him walk out, still fighting the urge to follow. Back at Newman Enterprises, Victoria was pacing in her office, replaying every word of her conversation with Victor. It hadn't been just a fight, it felt like a turning point. Like, maybe she'd finally reached the point of no return. Her phone buzzed. It was Nick. Hey, she answered, trying to keep her voice steady. Ran into Billy. Nick said shortly. Uh-oh, she said, forcing a small laugh. Don't uh-oh me. I almost punched him. She sighed. Nick, I'm serious. Vic. He was acting like he's your knight in shining armor. You know better than that. I do, she said quietly. But right now, I'm not sure I have many allies left. Nick's tone softened. You have me. Her eyes closed. No. There was a pause. What happened with Dad? She hesitated. Then said, he made it clear, he's still in charge. And he's bringing Adam in whether we like it or not. Nick swore under his breath. Then maybe it's time we take matters into our own hands. Her heartbeat quickened. What do you mean? I mean, if he's going to play hardball, maybe we play harder. She didn't answer right away. She was still her father's daughter. After all, the part of her that hated betrayal was at war with the part that was tired of losing to him. Finally, she said, maybe. Later that evening, Victor sat alone in his office, staring at the city skyline. For all his bravado earlier, Victoria's words had stuck with him. She was right about one thing, being untouchable was lonely. He'd always believed power came with a cost. But he hadn't expected the cost to be his own children. He reached for his phone more than once, thinking about calling her. But each time, pride stopped him. Across town, Victoria poured herself a glass of wine and sat on the couch, her mind replaying not just the fight, but years of similar ones. She loved her father, she always would. But love wasn't fixing this anymore. Nick, meanwhile, was still restless, pacing his living room as the tension with Billy replayed in his head. He wasn't sure if he was more angry at Billy for inserting himself into Victoria's life again, or at himself for letting Victor keep pulling their strings. Somewhere in Genoa City, Adam Newman was smiling to himself. The family was fighting, which meant opportunity, and Adam never missed an opportunity. The next morning when Victoria walked back into Newman Enterprises, she did it with purpose. She didn't know exactly what her next move would be, but she knew one thing, it wouldn't be to wait for her father's permission. Nick met her in the hallway, eyes steely. You ready? More than ready, she said. Inside Victor's office, the patriarch of the Newman family sat at his desk once again, unaware that the storm outside his door was about to hit harder than any he'd faced before. And somewhere, Billy Abbott was waiting in the wings, ready to insert himself into the fallout, because in Genoa City, power wasn't just about who sat behind the desk, it was about who survived when the desk got flipped over. And for the Newmans, the war had only just begun. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Update World 24 YouTube channel for more update news.